To all you Blues fans, we're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
BlueNote Fan Report. I don't know if this is working or not. This is just one of those days where nothing wants to work right. Hello, how are you? Are you out there today paying attention to me? Let us see. I don't know what's going on the night shift. On the night shift, yeah, the night shift. Let's see. I'm trying to make something work, guys. Give me a moment. See if something pops up here. I don't know. Oh, man. Some of these days. I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, man. Hold on. Lance, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm having all kinds of issues on my end.
I can hear you.
Okay, well, you can hear me, but you can't see me right now. I don't know what's going on with my video. Hey, buddy, how are you doing?
Not too bad. How are you today?
Not bad, not bad. Hey, I wanted to address what happened yesterday real quick with your here. I know you called me. Everything's cool, man. You know, we all have our opinions, right? You have yours, I have mine. They're not always going to mesh.
Yeah. It just normally I wouldn't have taken it the way that I approached it. So
No, and you know what? It's absolutely fine. I don't have. I'll never have an issue with it. I don't know why my video is so messed up. I hopefully I can get it through here in a little bit. Doesn't look like Facebook's working for me either. It's just they changed how they put this on Facebook, so it's going to be a little different. So we'll just go with it. Hopefully I can get my video to pop up while we're going. Hey man, we're on the eve of training camp. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I was hoping to be feeling a lot better, and you know, I'm feeling better overall. But today was this afternoon wasn't good. But I'm hoping to get out there sometime.
Yeah, you know, a lot of the practices are going to be open to fans. Hopefully we can get people out there and they'll be able to talk to them and get some things going on. It'll be very interesting if that can happen. You know, that's what I'd like to see happen. I'd like to see more, you know, the fans get involved. I wish fans could be better involved than they are. Unfortunately, you know, they try and protect everybody. So in doing that, some of the fans don't get the connection that they should. But I've been noticing a lot in the groups, and I kind of brought this up, and you know, a lot of people are drinking the wrong Kool-aid in my eyes, right? They are drinking poison Kool-aid. And why I say that is I keep hearing from Blues fans, this team is so much worse than last year's team. This team is worse. This team is worse. And in my eyes, so first of all, there's nothing That tells you this team is that worse, right? To lose one player, and then for everyone to turn around and say this team is worse, that makes no sense to me whatsoever.
I think it's a lot of the articles that are out there. We see all this stuff, and three play. You see stuff like 3 Blues who are going to have a bad season, 3 Blues who better have a good season. Excuse me. And you would think we lost Wayne Gretzky or Mario Lemieux when Perron left. He's a good player, but he's 34 years old. They offered him a contract, didn't take it. He went somewhere else. Move on.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Oh, yeah, I know I disappeared. I know nobody can see me right now or hear me.
I can hear you.
Oh, they can hear me? Okay. I am trying to get my camera back working. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, I think I might have downloaded a virus on my laptop.
Yeah.
But okay, so there we go. Now you got me back. We can talk and we can continue on with this. Wendy's saying hi. No, so first of all, when you look at every playoff team, the Blues had the least amount of change in last season, right? In all actuality, they lost 2 players, 2 full-time players from last season. That's it. Well, 3 if you count Bozak, but I don't think Bozak was that big of a. To me, Bozak is a minor loss. It's almost like the Dakota Joshua. I mean, as much as I like Dakota Joshua, he wasn't going to get the time on this team, and that's the same way with Bozak. He wasn't going to get the time on this team, right? Bringing in Noel Acari, Josh Levo, guys like that can take that spot for the same amount of money or less with a little bit younger. Okay. And then you allow guys to come up. Kyrou has got to Kyrou's got to be able to have that number one line spot. Right? He absolutely has to have that.
Yeah, the days of Jordan Kyrou playing the third line are long gone.
Well, I don't completely agree with that because he's either going to be on the first line or the third line. Because that second line's not changing. Okay? Parashenko, Thomas, and Barshnevich, that line is locked. That is the most solid line we have. I don't see that line changing at all. Do you?
I don't know. The way that Berube does lines sometimes, it makes sense a lot of the times, and other times you look at it and it doesn't make sense. I think he's got a lot of decisions to make on what players he's going to put where, who he's going to put together, and what he's going to do if things aren't working out. In the past he's had issues, but recently in last season he made a lot of adjustments, and hopefully he continues to do that. Well,
the only thing that I can see him doing is putting Barbashev on that line, right? Like putting the Spezza line back together. But if you do that, then you've got to take Thomas and put him in a non-center position.
Mm-hmm.
Brad Pond's asking if Jake Neighbors be playing for the Blues this year. I don't think so. I mean, he might get a few games here and there, but I don't see him being a full-time player unless there's more injuries. Right? I think he's a year away. And he did not have a good prospect tournament, and he spent a lot of time in the box. Right?
Yep.
I see Berube trying Thomas and Kyrou on a line at some point. I see them working the power play together. I don't see them being on a line together because I think that they could help each other. Who are you going to put on the other side of that? Right? I mean, really, the only one that you could put on the other side of that is Tereshchenko. but I think that Kairu's a right wing. He's not a left wing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that he can play left.
Yeah,
And, who do you put at left wing?
yeah, I don't know if you go about it that way, who you would do. I'm sure they would play well together. And another issue is this, so many people complain about Kairu. They say he overskates the play. No, he doesn't overskate the play. He's just faster than everybody, and he's
Yeah.
not used. Yeah, nobody can get up to him, so he's got to slow down. He doesn't.
He outskates his coverage. He outskates his coverage.
Yeah, exactly. And people think that's a problem. Well, with me, I want a guy using his speed. I don't want some fast guy having to slow down to wait for people. It just doesn't make sense. You've got to use his strength.
Yeah, no, I think speed. That's what I think that Armstrong did. Armstrong went straight youth, right? I'm going for the youth, and we talked. I talked a little bit about this yesterday. I still see O'Reilly getting traded at some point.
Could be. I was thinking the other day, could the Blues pull a Keith Tkachuk situation to where they, Keith Tkachuk was getting older. They wanted to get some draft capital. Could the Blues possibly trade O'Reilly and then have a deal with him to re-sign him after the season's done? I mean, is that possible?
I know they didn't put the Keith Tkachuk rule in. I know they talked about it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see, the thing is, even if they did that, I don't know if they could afford to bring him in unless the cap jumps up into that $86 million range, where what a lot of people think it is. Then maybe you have the money to sign him. But if the cap doesn't reach that 86 million, you're not going to have the money to sign anybody.
No, and people keep saying, well, we're going to have this much money. We're going to have this much money. We can sign Tarasenko and O'Reilly. I'm sorry. Unless they both take very, very friendly team contracts, there's no way the Blues are going to be able to afford but both of them. Somebody's going to have to go. And I keep seeing people saying, well, we love O'Reilly, but if he's a real team player, and I've even seen writers say this, that he's going to have to take $5 million to stay with the team. Well, you know what? If I'm Ryan O'Reilly, I'm only 31 years old. I'll be 32 in February of 2023. I've still got 4, 5, 6 years left of me of pretty good play. I'm not going to take $5 million a year. And if I'm him, I don't do that.
He may not take 5, he might take 6. I don't think he's going to ask for a raise. I think that contract you signed in that 25, that's your big one. The one you signed from 23 to 26, that's your big one. After that, now, I know it didn't used to be that way. The guys that were in their 30s were getting the big contracts, but that was in a pre-salary cap world. And not only that, that was in a pre-flat cap world. Well, now in a flat cap world, those guys that are 32 and older, they don't have the value that they used to have. Now, their agents are going to tell them they still do, but in all actuality, they don't. And if they can't get that big money between 25 to 26, it's not going to happen at age 32 season when a lot of these guys hit free agency. It's just not going to happen anymore.
Yeah, and I saw the other day where I can't remember which writer it was. Oh, it was Elliot Friedman, basically saying that O'Reilly's going to look at his contract coming up, and he's going to compare himself to Kadri. No, they're not the same player. And okay, what player? And Kadri's about the same age as O'Reilly. I'll give him that. But what player? If O'Reilly's contract is up after this season, Kadri's was up after last season. What player goes to a team and says, "Well, last year, this guy signed for $7 million, so I'm going to take $7 million."
Yeah,
that's not the way it works.
No, I don't think it is either. I'm not with that, and I can't see. First of all, they're not even close to the same player.
No,
right? They're not even close. Mm-hmm. To be in all actuality, I think O'Reilly has more value than Kadri ever will.
Yeah,
right?
I
think Kadri's going to destroy the Flames. I really do. I think Kadri is going to take the Flames down. They're a good team, but I think he's going to take them down. I think he's going to, and you know what? everyone talked about, oh, he was such a good player. He was such a good. When the playoffs hit, he was the same jackass that he always is.
Yep.
Right? He was involved in all how many controversial plays was he involved in? At least 4. At least 4.
Yeah,
right?
there was a
If
bunch
not
of
more.
them.
Right? He was constantly involved in controversial plays. All that stuff catches up. And so here's the thing. There was an article today by Mike McKenna. Now, I got to put this out there. I know who Mike McKenna is. Mike McKenna coaches the Blues Warriors, right? So I'm not. I have to be careful and make sure I don't say anything negative about Mike McKenna. And I'm not. I'm talking about the article he wrote. He stated that the Blues had the 17th best tandem in the NHL and 3rd best in the West, or not in the West, in the Central. Well, at number 15, he had Detroit. I'm sitting there going, how? How do you have Husso being a better goalie than Bennington?
Yeah, I don't get that either.
They took last season. Now he says he didn't, but you look up and down, and they put so much weight into last season.
Yep.
It wasn't even funny. And I got to tell you, what he missed with Jordan Bennington, and I think what a lot of people have missed, eighth best in goaltender tandem or overall, Brian? But Bennington had COVID. He came back from COVID. It affected him a lot. And once he got over it, he was back to Bennington of old. And Bennington of old is going to be a top goalie in this league. Lance, he's not going to be the 1.82, but he's not going to be a 2.5 either. I think he's going to be a lot closer to a 2.0 to a 2.2.
Yeah, I don't see it. I think he's going to be a 2.
Defense, my friend. I think everyone is looking at our defense.
No, I'm not. That's not what I'm basing
and
on.
saying that our defense is so weak, and our defense isn't weak. And that's the thing that blows my mind. How everybody can think our defense is weak.
No, I told people after Bennington came on the scene and we won the cup, and everybody was going goo goo gaga over him. He's the best goalie ever because he won a cup from the Blues. And I said, listen, Jordan Bennington is going to be a very good goalie in this league. He's going to be a top 10 goalie when he's playing well. I said he's going to have an average about 2.3 to 2.5 goals against and a save percentage of .915, and he's going to be that guy that's going to make those big saves when you need him to, which is more important than all the stats. But I think people just aren't seeing that from him because of the bad part he had last year, and I think people got burnt by Jake Allen having all this promise and everything, and then he has half of a year that's good and the other half is bad. But Jordan Bennington is not Jake Allen. They're built totally different. And Jordan Bennington is a good goalie. He just is. And for people that all of a sudden, I don't know why this city bashes their one goalie over the other. And I just hope this doesn't happen. I hope Bennington plays well to where he gets the majority of the games, to where people don't come in and do like they've done every year for the last 7-8 years with this team, is when a goalie's playing bad, put the other goalie in. And then when the other goalie has 1 or 2 good games, well, we got to keep him and we've got to trade the other goalie. I don't want to see that again this year.
Oh, no, that's just Blues fans. That's Blues fans in general, right? They are flavor of the day. Blues fans, well, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to get me in trouble. The majority of Blues fans are uneducated. They really are, right? I'm trying to get a guy that I've been talking to. He's been a fan since the beginning, and he seems really smart, but he drinks the Kool-Aid right away, right? He straight up to, in a chat I had, oh, we're not as fast, we're not as good as the Avalanche, and I'm going, how do you see that? How do you see? And then he tells me later, oh, I don't care about the Avalanche. But you just said earlier that we're not as good as the Avalanche. So obviously you care about them. And I don't want to get into anybody, wheelhouse or up in anybody's grill. But when you look at the two teams and what they lost, how can you look at Colorado Avalanche and say they're a better freaking team?
Everybody has them rated number one, that they're going to repeat. And this, and here's the two biggest mysteries and the two biggest dumbest things I've seen this season is the Blues are worse and the Avalanche are just as good as they were last year. Those are the two worst takes I can think of in the league.
Right. Well, let's look at something here real quick. Right. Colorado Avalanche. Let's look at this real quick. Okay. They lost. And I'm going to go through and make sure I get the right players. And this is just in free agency, right? Andre Kubel, McCowan, Gilbert, Nico Strum, Dylan Shakura, Kiefer Sherwood, Ryan Murray, Darcy Kemper, Kadri, Jack Johnson, Jordan Grease, and Andrei Burakovsky. I haven't pulled up what points those guys had, but I'm guessing that the total points of those players right there has got to be somewhere around 230 to 250. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, what they brought in, let's see. Hudson signs a 1-year deal. Lehkonen signed a 5-year deal. Manson signed a 4-year deal. That was their best signing, right? Johansson signed a 1-year deal. Jacobs and Solomon, I think they were re-signs. Helm re-signed. Hunt signed. Burke signed. Rodriguez signed. Bird, Birdh, signed and Matsulov signed. None of that is head turning. Manson was a re-sign, right?
Mason, yeah.
I'm pretty sure Manson was a re-sign.
Yeah.
Helm was a re-sign. Stefan Moteau hasn't signed yet. I'm only seeing one re-sign. I thought I seen another one. Oh, no. Yeah, Helm was a re-sign. Middleton was a re-sign. Matslov was a re-sign. Burke was a re-sign. Those were Group 2 free agents. Right? Manson, I think, was signed an extension. Right? I'm pulling it up real quick. I look at all of that, and I don't see a team that got better. Yeah, they re-signed Manson to a 4-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that his, maybe, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why he wasn't showing up as a free agent. Maybe he was an RFA. Well, no, he still would have showed up as a Group 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I don't know. Do 25, 26. But for me, I don't think that they're going to I don't think they're going to be it. I really don't. So, well, here's our hater, McDavid. Hate to be the bearer of Nathan Randolph did a blog on Avs, and he did a deep dive on them. Really, they lost 187 and gained 147. I can send it to you. They lost more than 187. I guarantee you that. And go ahead and send it to me, Nate. McDavid, you can send it to actually my email doesn't even work anymore. Well, I'll have to put my new email up. Hold on a second, bud, and I'll put my new email up. I hate to put this email up, but I don't have a choice since the person that screwed me over. I don't even own my website anymore. Somehow. So there's the email address you can send it to, bud. I bet you it's more than that. I know it's got to be more than that. Hell, what was no? It's more. I know it's more than that. I know it's more than that. Okay, well, I got to look at it, but I have a feeling it's more than that. I'd have to pull up the Avalanche from last season just to look, but I could do that now. I don't want to see if I can do that now. See if I can find the right thing here. I got like 5 different NHL pages set up. Let's go. Here we go. Stats. Let me pull my stats up. I still think they've lost way more points than.
Yeah, I thought it was at least 200. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but hey, I'm gonna look it up and we'll kind of go at it, right? Avalanche. Oh, I don't have my phone. Oh, here's my phone.
And another thing people aren't looking at is that a lot of teams, when they repeat, they do have some turnover, but they don't have the huge turnover that Colorado has had this season. Pittsburgh, they added a few guys here and there, let a few guys go in their run.
Okay.
Chicago did the same thing. I can't remember a Stanley Cup winner that has lost so many players, not necessarily top line players, but decent players, good players that contributed to their cup win, but everybody's picking them. I don't understand that at all. If they were still good, I'd say, yes, I understand why the Avalanche are being picked. But like last year, Guy, you and I both agreed that we understood why people were picking the Avalanche, but we thought the Blues were just as good. This year, you and I both are saying we don't understand why everybody thinks the Avalanche haven't lost something.
Well, it's just like with the Jets. Everyone last year had the Jets being one of the top teams. And I didn't. Remember that? Remember?
I didn't either. Yeah.
Huh? Say again? Say again, Lance? I didn't hear what you said, bud.
I said you had them lower than I did, but I don't remember having them make the playoffs.
You had them in the playoffs. You had them in the playoffs. You had them
I
as
had
one
them
of the
number
top.
4.
You had them at 5.
5.
Yeah. Okay, so we know they lost Kadri, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they lost Kadri. They re-signed Lehkonen. So Kadri was 97 points. Or 87 points. And I just hit the wrong button again. Damn it. I don't know what I just did. I had it pulled up and somehow I hit the wrong button. I just made what I had up go away. Oh, man, I love when I screw up like that. Okay, I got to try something else here. I'm working on it. Make this a little bit bigger so I can see it. So they lost Kadri, 87 points. Did they lose Burkowski?
No, I thought they re-signed him.
Did they?
That's what I thought.
If I can find that now. Here we go. Hours, Lehkonen. No, he signed. They did lose Burkowski. He signed with Seattle.
Oh, they did.
Okay. So Burkowski. Try and put these pages together so I don't get them messed up. There we go. Burkowski is 61 points.
Mm-hmm.
So 87 plus 61. That's 148 right there.
Yep.
Right? Landeskog, Tays, Nichushkin. Did they lose Nichushkin or did they re-sign him? I thought they lost him. Lehkonen left. Strom, Sherwood, Murray. Kemper, Josh Manson. Yeah, it was a resign. Jack Johnson, Darren Home. Nope, they didn't. Nope. Okay. Kubel was another one that they lost. That was a big one. Kubel. Where is Kubel on here? Kubel was 22 points.
It's 180, 170. Sorry.
That's 170.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Johnson was 9. 179. Did they re-sign Monson?
Yeah, they did.
Okay. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, so Shane Bowers hasn't signed, so he's probably gone. Middleton resigned. Shane Bowers was a Group 2 free agent, but he hasn't re-signed yet. Cross and Jack Johnson. I think I already said Jack Johnson, right?
Yeah, you did.
Let's see. Jack Johnson, 9. Cross on here? No, he's not. Okay. Oh, maybe it was less than 200. Might be right. I'm looking at a few others in the lower end. I thought they lost more than they did. Why did I think they lost JT Comfort? Right? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I may have to look at it. Right? Kyler Terry saying, "What's up?" He says I'm wasting my time. Look at what he sent. What he sent me. See if I can pull it up here. See if I can pull it up. See if it comes up. Sometimes my email is really, really bad. See if it comes up. Okay, here we go. Oh, at least I know his name now. Well, who McDavid is, so I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Oh, he doesn't have it. He sent the full article. He didn't send a link to it. So, there's a lot for me to. I thought maybe he'd have a thing. He says they brought in 147 points and lost 187. So they lost 40 points overall. And I don't know. I think I still think that they lost more than that.
Yeah, what people aren't looking at too, they lost some guys that were very good in their system, and they may not have been guys that scored a bunch of goals, but they played their role. And sometimes you can replace those guys, sometimes you can't. I'm not saying Colorado's going to be bad. I'm just saying it's the same thing as with the Golden Knights. I don't understand why everybody's picking those two to be some of the best teams. I don't get it, because there's a lot of changes that have been made in Colorado. And I mean, look at when the Blues made all those changes and brought in Perron and Bozak and O'Reilly. It took them quite a while to really settle in and get to know each other to where they were playing well.
They lost 2 players to their core. Well, that's a lot to lose to your core, right? That's a lot to lose to your core. I just, for me, you know what they lost? Do you know the biggest thing that they lost? Actually, I think they lost more than that. Wouldn't you say that losing their goalie, their starting goalie, was part of their core? And they got worse at goal, in my eyes. If Francour's going to be your number 1, and Georgiev your number 2, or whatever his name is.
It's Georgiev.
Georgiev, yeah. I just think, McDavid, I know you're on that bandwagon, and that's fine. I'm not. They're not playing with a chip on their shoulder. They're not playing with a chip on their shoulder. They're worse at goaltending, right? And they're not going to come in and intimidate teams like they did last year. And in all actuality, this is what shocks me. That the Blues were as many points behind them as they were, because in all actuality, you look at the numbers across the board, they were equal. They were equal. You know what killed the Blues? Overtime losses.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the games that Colorado won that the Blues didn't. That's right there. Let me see if I can pull something up real quick. I want to pull something up here real quick. Colorado, right, had 10 games that they won. They had 10 games that they either run in overtime or in overtime or the shootout, right? They won 10. They had 10 more games, so they had 46 regulation wins. Want to guess how many regulation wins the Blues had?
I know it was close to that.
43.
Yeah.
Right there. Right now, overall, Colorado only had 5 more wins, or 6 more wins, and 10 more points. That 10 points, that 119 to 109, that 10-point difference is mind-boggling to me, considering everything else is almost equal. Right? Colorado scored 1 more goal than the Blues did. The Blues gave up 8 more than Colorado did.
Yeah, the Blues had a lot of games last year where they were winning and the other team come back and tied them and then took it to overtime when they lost an overtime or a shootout.
Yeah, the overtime losses, the Blues had 11 overtime losses. Regulation overtime, the Blues had 47. They only won 2 games in the shootout. Colorado, on the other hand, won 4 games in the shootout. Right there. I mean, you can find points right there. The Blues in those late games, this is where Colorado got it, was in the overtime. When you look at that, they had 10 games, right? So they had a total of 17 games go to OT. 17 games go to OT. If I'm reading this number right. Right? So the regulation wins, so they had 56 wins. That's 10. Yeah, 10 and 7 losses. So 17 of their games went to OT. The Blues, let's see, 43 to 49 is what? Is that 6? Had 17 overtime, 17 games also.
Mm-hmm.
The difference here, the big difference here is the Avalanche only lost 7 games in OT. The Blues lost 11.
Yeah, and
give me them 4 wins. Give me them 4 wins. There's 4 more points.
Another thing,
there's 4 points there.
People don't look at this. I know some people say the Blues did not play very well against Colorado. My point is this: if you look at all the series Colorado played, after the Blues played very well against them, but Bennington got hurt, and that's what screwed them. Edmonton didn't play as well against Colorado. The Lightning didn't play as well against Colorado. The Blues gave Colorado their hardest time through their whole playoff.
I absolutely agree with that.
And it's not even close.
Hey, McDavid, what do you want to bet that the Avalanche do not repeat? How much? What do you want to bet? Let's bet something, bud. Let's bet something. I don't think they repeat. I'm still on the board. I don't even think they make the playoffs. I know I'm out on a limb there, but I've got this feeling, man. Do you think Benner plays good? Go ahead.
Sorry. You can make a wager with him. You'll send him some Kona coffee from Hawaii, and he can send you something from where he's from.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure where he's at though. Uh, do you think? And again, this is a guy. This is more than likely. Um, I'm gonna. I mean, it's a long article. Hey, send me the link, McDavid. Send me the link where this article is instead of just the article itself. Send me the link. Send me the actual link. No, I don't want any Rocky Mountain oyster. You can have those, Shockey. Right? I don't see how. I don't think that. See, Bobby Forget says they're so deep 1 to 18. I think straight up. Here's the thing. I think they're deep 1 to 3. I don't think they're deep 1 to 18. Okay. I think in the forward group they might have the best top line, but their second, third, and fourth lines are questionable. I really do. They might have a good top line defense, but their middle and bottom pairing are questionable. I really do. One, McClark-Hayes, Bram Gernard, Mason Johnson. Johnson's on. I'm surprised Johnson didn't retire. I'm really surprised Eric Johnson did not retire.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, right? Their bottom six is not the best in the business. I'm sorry, it's not.
No, it's not.
Right? I think the Blues' second, third, and fourth lines are just as good, if not better, than the Avalanche. In fact, I'll put our second line against theirs any day. Fuck, I'll put Tarasenko, Thomas, and Buchnevich up against McKinnon's line.
Even with losing Bozak and bringing in Akari, I still think the Blues have a better fourth line.
Oh yeah, they have a better fourth and third line.
Yeah.
Right. You know, everyone is drinking this Kool-aid that the Avalanche are, oh my God, so good. First of all, they got a perfect storm last year. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what, the NHL's done something that I don't like at all. And I don't think people are realizing it. There are 4 teams that had their season crunched by 4 days. Right? The season starts on the 11th. The Blues and either 2 or 3 other teams don't start their season until the 15th. Yet everybody ends their season on the same day.
Mm-hmm.
I think the NHL's got to stop that, ending the season on the same day. I think that each team's got to have the equal amount of season time.
Yeah.
You're compressing team seasons right off the get-go.
Yeah.
Right? You're compressing team seasons right off the get-go.
Yep. And I'm going to tell people say, well, those 4, 5, 6 days, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Well, at the end of the season,
it matters.
Yeah, it does matter. Trust me.
Right? It matters a lot. I when you crunch the season, because this is something that the Avalanche, for the longest period of time, were not leading the division, yet they had the best points percentage because they played the least amount of games.
Yep. Yeah, and I always tell people, would you rather have 20 games in 25 nights, or would you rather have 20 games in 35 nights? Well, I'd rather have 20 games in 35 nights.
Yeah.
No,
well, it's not even the same 48-hour period. I think that, the amount of days, if you start your season on the 11th, it should end at the same amount of days. Yep. Right? The guys that start on the 11th should end 4 days earlier than the guys that start here, and the guys that start here, and the guys that start here. When you spread it out, as far as they've spread it out, 4 days, the 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 5 days. 5 days now. And actually, it's not even that. What about the teams that are playing on the 9th and 10th in Europe?
Yep.
Right? You know, when you crunch other teams, it affects your season. It really does affect your season. There are teams that will be playing their second game before some teams even play their first game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in fantasy leagues that require 2 goalie starts. The first week, they only require 1.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's teams that don't even get 2 starts that week.
Yep, that's right.
right? And that's the thing to think about. There's a lot of teams that don't. Well, the end is a one day. Everybody ended on the same day, and then they have one extra day in case there's games that didn't get played. Just about every team ended on the last day of the season. Bobby's talk again. Bobby, are you an Avalanche fan? Because it really sounds like it. And you are. You're welcome, man. I don't mind fans from other teams. I don't. I just, I can't drink all that Kool-Aid. I cannot drink the Avalanche Kool-Aid.
Yeah, and I can't drink the negative Blues Kool-Aid because, okay, and I know everybody, they're just so stuck on this Perron thing. Oh, we're not going to make the playoffs because we lost Perron. Here's my question to you, all you Blues fans that think that, and that you're welcome to think that, and I appreciate your opinion. But I also want to know, does having Perron automatically make the Red Wings a playoff performer? Because if in your mind, Perron makes such a difference that the Red Wings should make the playoffs with him. And I think they're going to be better, but I don't think the Red Wings make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that they're a French team.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're as scary as you think. I really don't, Bobby. I think that everyone looks at them and at the surface, oh my God, look how great they were last year. Last year was a perfect storm.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're a coach or a player in the NHL, an assistant coach, a general manager, or owner, if you're afraid of another team, you need to be in another business. I can guarantee you, Craig Berube, Jordan Bennington, Ryan O'Reilly, and all the Blues players do not look at the Avalanche and go, "Oh my God, they're the mighty Avalanche. We can't match up to them." No, they don't do that.
Well, you know what? Right there, I'll call you out on this. You say they've gotten deeper everywhere. They did not get deeper in goalie.
Oh my goodness.
They did not get deeper in goalie. They didn't get deeper in second center. Right? They lost 87 points at second center. They didn't. Right? Look at, and you know what, Bobby? First of all, you talk about Ben Myers might be the best rookie in hockey. No, I didn't see his rookie camp. I obviously didn't. I'll say that. You know what? You think about this. Your Nashville team went up against them and got swept. You got destroyed. The Blues almost beat them. The Blues were the only team to almost beat them. Right? I don't think that even the Lightning gave them as much of a scare as the Blues did.
Well, we've discussed this all off season, and whether people believe us or they have a different opinion, that's fine. But the Blues, the Blues should have won that first game. They really should have.
Absolutely.
They were the better team overall on every facet of the game in that first game against the Avalanche.
No, actually, I want to disagree with you there. Not that first game against the Avalanche. They were outplayed in that game. That was the best game that someone ever played against the Blues. I will admit that. However, they almost lost the game. It went to overtime, and overtime, even in because of three. I know they don't play 3-on-3, but when you go 5-on-5 overtime, they play with that 3-on-3 mentality, and that helps the speedy teams. That's where the Avalanche got better, the speed, and that's what happened. They were dominated. The Blues were dominated and damn near won that game. Then they win game 2. They almost won game 6, right? And game 6. Now this is why I have such an issue with everybody going out there and saying that Husso is so much better than Bennington. That last goal, now I'm not blaming Husso for the game 6 loss, but that last goal, that was as soft as bread coming out of the oven. That's how soft that goal was. Okay, so Mike Brown says, I know I never thought that the Blues needed Perron around to make the playoffs, but Perron had O'Reilly to play with him here. That's what makes that such a big deal. Perron can play with anybody. Detroit will be a much better team this year, not just because of Perron, but because they have some serious talent. They have a lot of injured talent. Fabry's out until January or later. Wallman's out. Wallman's out till November. I was looking at it. They got like 4 or 5 guys hurt. And not only can Perron play with anybody, O'Reilly can play with anybody. So see, that's the thing. Whoever they put in that spot, I think has the chance to up their game. I think it's going to be Shen, Saad, and O'Reilly. And this is like Lindy yesterday. Oh, Saad's going to have a down year. I don't think he is. I think Saad can put up a 50-point year. You know, I think Saad's going to have that solid year. This is a team that had 9 20-goal scorers. You lost 1. 1 20-goal scorer. Think about that. You lost 1 20-goal scorer. Overall, I think the Blues lost less than 30 goals on the season from last year. Less than that. I can't remember how many exactly. I can't remember exactly how many Perron had. I'm going to look it up real quick. So what did the Blues lose in goals? Goals is what I'm interested in right now. So David Perron, actually, I'll say Perron was 30. They lost Perron. They lost Bozak, who had 3, and Joshua, who had 3. Right? Wallman had 3. Sundqvist had 4. Let's see, who else? Did we keep Rosen? Yeah, Rosen's still with us. Neal had 2. They lost less than 40 goals. And some of these guys that you're talking about, the goals, they went, you know, they were before they were part of the season, but they've gone somewhere else and somebody's replaced them. So those goals could be replaced. Like Sundqvist, his 4 goals could easily be replaced by Leddy, who only had 2. Well, give Leddy the extra time. He makes up those 2 goals. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's the thing to look at. I just think that and then the guys that they brought in can make up for some of those goals. You know, oh no, I was wrong. Perron had 27 goals. 27 goals. So, all right, they lost just about 33, 36 goals, somewhere around there. This is still going to be a good team, right? Walker is going to get more games. Walker is going to get you more than 8 goals. Krug is going to get you more than 9 goals. Falk, I think, gets you more than 16. Right? Thomas, I think, gets you more than 20. O'Reilly, I think 21 is a good number for him. Shin had an off year and had 24 goals. Saad 24. I think Saad can increase that. Barbashev 26. Barbashev can equal that. Kyrou 27. He can equal that. Bushnevich 30. I think he can equal or beat that. Parashenko 34. He can equal or beat that. You still have 9 or 8 20-goal scorers on this team, if not 9 in my eyes. Kostin could be a 20-goal scorer, given the right things. Given the right things. I'm not sure who this is. What do you mean by develop the opportunities? You've got some of the best centers in the game. O'Reilly, Thomas. Who else playing center down there? Am I missing? You got playmakers on this team. Again, I do not see O'Reilly's contract, or not O'Reilly, Bennington's contract being a crap contract. Besides, it's a no trade still, right? We are not a 500 team, Josh. Josh, you're the person that I'm talking about. You're the person I'm talking about. You're drinking that Kool-Aid. You're absolutely drinking that poison Kool-Aid, and I can't understand why. When you look at we had the least amount of turnover of any team. How does that make us that much worse? How does that take a team from 109 points to 82? Explain that to me, because I don't understand it. Right? And Bennington and Parayko are not, neither one of them can go down to the AHL. Really? Okay. Okay, Josh. And Lance, I'm sorry. I got to go on this, okay?
It's all right. It's all right.
Our defense is crap. Okay, tell me how the 11th best defense in the league is shit. I don't get that. I do not get that. I do not understand how you can say this defense is that bad. This team, their problem was games where they scored less than 3 goals. They were 9, 17, and 10. 9, 17, and 10. That is not defense. That's offense. And they were a great offensive team. This team did not lose anything. Stop drinking the goddamn Kool-Aid. This defense is a good defense. This team, prior to Bennington getting COVID, let's remember that. Bennington got COVID. Prior to them getting COVID, they were one of the best teams in the league.
And the only defenseman they've lost is Scandella because of a hip surgery. They didn't lose any. Okay, Mikola's going to be in there another year under his belt. He's going to be better. Leddy's is going to be better because he was picking things up so quick. It just baffles me how all of a sudden the Blues have this pretty good defense last year. They don't lose anybody, but yet it's all doom and gloom for the defense. I don't understand that.
Here's another. Okay, Josh. Do you know what an illusionist is? Because that's what Husso is. He's an illusionist. Husso was junk in the playoffs. Absolute junk in the playoffs. He may have helped during the regular season, but when it mattered down the stretch, he was junk. He was junk. Mike, I agree here. RD has never been good. Parayko had the worst playoffs I've seen as a D-man in the past season. This past season. I disagree. He did. You know what? He's still dealing with an injury. That injury might be gone now. Josh, I just can't get on board what you're drinking, what you're trying to sell. I can't. And I'm sorry if it comes off mean, and I don't mean to be mean, but you're sitting there looking at things, and I think it's an illusion. You're not looking at everything. You're sitting there saying, oh, our defense was so bad. They were the 11th best. They gave up a total of 8 more goals than Colorado. 8. That's it. 8 more goals. That's something. 8 more goals. All right, hold on. I want to pull something up. This is so. Oh, they don't have it here on this summary. I might have to go look at a different summary. Carolina Hurricanes were the best in that. And I can't see exactly, but they gave up 2.44 goals per game. What is that? .200 goals. The best team in the league only gave up about 30 more goals than we did. Actually, I think they ended up getting a little more than 200. But only about 30 more goals than we did. That was the best team in the league. Right? That's something you got to think about. The best team in the league only gave up 30 more goals over the season. That's what, half a goal a game? Yeah, right at half a goal a game. That's how much better your defense needs to get. Half a goal a game. Well, you know what? They said the same thing about J-Bo, and J-Bo got better. Well, now this I'll agree with. Our neutral zone play is something that's got to get fixed. I will agree with this. That is true, too. He did have the highest plus-minus after the All-Star break. He did start seeing it. And you got to remember, during the playoffs, we had Scandella out, we had Krug out, and we had somebody else out. I think Letty was out for a couple of games.
Yeah, he was.
So you know, I understand what you're saying, Josh. I just don't get it. I hear you, but I don't get it. I don't. It just doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, right. Letty, that's what I said. Letty missed a couple too. We had injuries. I'm telling you, this team, the fact that they did not have that turnover tells me that they're still a good damn team, and they are a cup contender. I think that, you know, when everybody goes and just puts the Avalanche on a pedestal, I can't do, right? I can't do that. And now that's what everyone wants to do, and I don't see it. I really do think that this Avalanche team is going to come in. They're going to come in. Now I know this is going to sound so bad. They're going to come into this season exactly like the 16-17 Penguins did. Right? The 16-17 Penguins barely made the playoffs. Now they ended up winning the cup, but you know, they had a lot. That's their playoff experience. But they just came in last days ago and got their coach fired. Right? We have the lead. Doesn't work against fast teams. We need to stay aggressive. And under this coaching staff, we aren't going to change. Well, see, I think that's a valid point. That's a valid point. Josh, that is a valid point. That I will give you. Lance, I got to say, that's a valid point. Of everything you said, that's the only point that I will sit there and say, yeah, I agree with you there. Well, and then the neutral zone thing. But other than that, and I do think that Berube showed he can use fast guys. And that he didn't show up until last season. I think that this is a team that is ready to explode. I think that they are. And then again, you got to look. You've got three big guys, big name guys on ending contracts. Guys on contracts like, especially two of them on the contracts like they're on, usually have monstrous years. And then Barbashev looking to get paid. I could see Barbashev, O'Reilly, and Tarasenko having monster years. I mean, monster years. I could see Tarasenko pushing that 50-goal mark. Right? I could see O'Reilly pushing the 100-point mark. I could see Barbashev pushing that 70, 80-point mark. I really could. This is a team that's going to surprise people. Everyone has looked at this team down, and it doesn't. You know, this is one of those times. Yes, I believe in the eye test. I normally do. This is the time where I think the eye test, you know, is failing us. I really think the eye test is failing us. You agree or disagree with me there, Lance, man?
No, I think the only way this team gets in trouble is if they have the amount of injuries like they had last year, because a lot of these younger guys are going to be up with the team, and they don't have a lot that's really NHL ready. Do they have some guys that could come in and play a few games? Yes. That's the only way this team, to me, is going to falter. Otherwise, they're just as talented as every other team. Most teams, they're better.
So here's another, again, see, Josh, this is you drinking the Kool-Aid. Oh my God, we need the defense. We need to give up all these players that they want to get this one defenseman to make us better. Sorry,
guess.
bud. Giving up 5 players to get 1 does not make you better.
Let me
Very
guess,
rarely.
Chitrin?
And especially the players that you have to give up to get this one. You're not giving up what was it we gave up for who were the 3 players that we gave up? You're not giving up a oh God, I can't think of his name now. Paige Thompson, Bergeron, and Saboka. You're not giving them up to get Jacob Chicharin, right?
No, and I don't.
He does not.
I don't want him.
Okay. What?
I don't want him. And if people knew, half the GMs in the league are not impressed by him.
Yeah, I don't think Chicharin makes us a contender, and especially with what you have to give up to get him.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you don't. Oh my God, we're going to get him for nothing. No, you're not going to get him for nothing. They want 4 or 5 players, and they're not talking about draft pick. They're talking about guys playing right now. Oh my God, no freaking way would I do that. And you know what? They've already said they want 4 players, 4 first-round type players. I'm not giving up Thomas to get Chicharin. That right there, that trade right there does make this a worse team. You're going to take one of the fastest guys on the team when you complain about not having speed and give him away for a slow-footed defenseman.
You're gonna take the best young center in the league, and people can argue with me, but to me, he's the best young center in the league, and trade him for a guy that might be, if he plays well, a second-line defenseman, if he's good enough.
Okay, Josh, you might do that all day long. Arizona won't. They've already said they want 4 first-round talent picks or players. They've already said that. And why would you give up Robert Thomas? Why would you give up, especially your center of the future? Why would you give up your center of the future for a defenseman that was a minus something?
Has anybody in the Blues area watched him like I've watched him?
Josh,
in a lot of games. He's good. He's a good, solid defenseman. He is. Is he a great guy, a game changer? No. Jacob Chicharin at this time in his career is not a game-changing defenseman.
Do I understand that Jordan Kyrou is better than Thomas? No, I don't. Jordan Kyrou didn't lead the team in assists. Jordan Kyrou did not lead the team in assists. Jordan Kyrou, the majority of his points came before the All-Star break. After the All-Star break, he was you're drinking the Kool-Aid. You're the guy that I'm talking about. Chicharin does not make us a contender. He doesn't. Okay, Lance. He doesn't. I'm sorry. I don't see that, my friend. Right? I don't see that. I don't see that. First of all, Kyrou's not better than Thomas. I'll tell you that straight up. Kyrou's second half was junk. Jake, you want to go look at Jacob Chicharin's numbers last season. You're willing to give up almost 80 points for 30 points. Right? I think that's what Chicharin had. Chicharin's numbers were junk last season. And Chicharin is not. I'm sorry. I don't want Chicharin. I do not. Jacob Chicharin played in 47 games, so injury, 7 assists, 7 goals, 14 assists, 21 points for a minus 20. 47 penalty minutes. 1 power play goal. 2 game-winning goals. Okay, I'll give him that. 1 game-tying goal. 5% shooting percentage. With 23 minutes on ice. I'm sorry, that's not numbers that I want. Right? Those aren't numbers I want. Especially from a guy playing 50-plus shifts a game. No way. No way do I want those numbers. You're calling Thomas a fringe third-line center. Boy, dude, boy, man. Wow. Wow, I don't know what else to say there. Right? Says Kyrou can't take a hit. One's a center and the other different. Well, you said they're pro centers, but one's a defense. Yeah, but still, you're giving up. Well, I mean, you look at. I'm sorry. I want my defensemen, especially on this team. You can't just give up 80 points, 25 goals. I'm sorry. And to sit there and say that Thomas is a third-line center, a French third-line center.
And another thing is this. People don't understand. They've been trying to move or thought about taking offers for Chychrun for a year and a half now.
Yeah.
And nobody has bid. If he was this life-changing defenseman, because they're hard to find, if he was this life-changing defenseman, some team that was stacked with good players but needed defense would work something out with him. And nobody's come close to working something out with him because they want too much for a guy that's not a team-changing defenseman.
I don't know if he's a Colorado troll or not, but first of all, he's saying that Chychrun's a top 2 defenseman, which I don't think he is, and then that Thomas is a number 3 center, right? Sorry.
If Jacob Chychrun is your top 1, is in your top pairing, and you're a team that considers himself good, you're not good, because Jacob Chychrun to me is a second line guy. That's just what he is. He's not a top D pairing. He
had injuries last season, didn't he?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Well, he only played. I was looking. He only played 47 games. He had to have been injured last season.
Yeah, was he one of the guys that got COVID from there? I can't remember.
COVID's not taking you out that many games.
No, I was thinking that was one thing that maybe he missed, 8 games with or whatever. But I like
out 2 to 4 weeks with a lower body injury. So he was out at least a month. He was out longer than that if he only played 47 games. All right.
I like him.
Well, I'm on his NHL page right now. Trying to see. So on March 14th, he came. He let's see. Be out 2 to 4 days. Sustained. He had scored 21 points. So in 47 games. So he'd only played 47 games in March. And then missed the rest of the season. He never came back. Well, how do you not know that he's not still injured? He never came back. 2 to 4 weeks, and he never comes back. Right?
And like I said, Guy and I like him. He's just not that top pairing that's worth 4 players. I just think the Blues fans are going to have to see the team play the defense the way that if they're as good as they were last year on defense, Bennington comes back and has a good year, the Blues will be fine. And that's what I'm expecting to do.
Yeah, hold on. I'll be right back, guys.
Yep. A lot of people got to look at it this way. The team made 0 changes on defense. And like I said earlier, we know that Scandella's hurt. Mikola's going to be better. Letty's going to have another more games under his belt in the system, which he basically knows. Krug's going to have a better year than he had last year. I'm just very puzzled at why all of a sudden our defense is terrible when the stats show they're not terrible. And I don't want people throwing around analytic stats, because that's not how the NHL grades their defensemen, because analytic stats when it comes to defense can be very, very misleading. The Blues definitely have a top 10, number 11 defense. And if you want to talk about Thomas has been voted one of the top young centers in the league, and he's been voted the 20th best center overall. So 20th best center in the league of 32 teams, that's pretty good. That's a top line center. I mean, come on. That's what it is. And Arizona's not going to get 4 players for him unless the team gets really desperate. I mean, they're going to have to get really desperate, because they've been putting him out there as bait for quite a while now, and nobody is bit. And when you see it, a so-called young stud defenseman, as some Blues fans think he is, and other people around the league think he is, not get traded when he's been out there, and teams have needed defensemen who have given up some pretty good pieces to get a defenseman, and he's not moved, that should tell you something, at least about the way the league looks at him. I know for a fact that there's at least half the GMs do not think of him as highly as the other half do. And I know some people are going to say, well, those GMs aren't good at judging talent. Well, you guys don't know that. Watch, if you're going to make a grade on him, watch him like I have watched him since he's come into the league. Watch 40, 50 games a year that he's in. Watch him. You'll see some very good things for a young defenseman. Very good things. But you'll see a guy that sometimes doesn't look so good. You'll see a guy that's probably a number 2 pairing, which is still a good defenseman in the league. It's still a very good defenseman. But you don't give up 4 top players for a number 2 defenseman unless you're very desperate. And then once you do that, and you've given up top players, where does it leave you? It leaves you with an imbalance in your roster. It leaves you with a second pairing defenseman that doesn't help you win anything.
Okay, sorry about that. That's about my wrist trying to get my surgery done. They've got it all messed up at the VA. He says, Elliot Freeman said for Jacob Churin, the Blues are the top 2 leaders in the clubhouse for his services. Doug needs to jump on his right away. God, no, he doesn't. God, I hope not.
Hey, guy, do you remember when Elliot Freeman said the Blues are calling Buffalo about Jack Eichel 2 years ago, a year and a half ago? And I said, no, they're not. And Elliot Freeman said, yes, they are. The Blues were on the phone today with him. And 2 days later, he put out a thing on Twitter saying, sorry, I was wrong about the Blues' interest in Eichel. They never called Buffalo about Jack Eichel. People have got to stop this. Frank Cirelli and Elliot Freeman are gods, and they're never wrong. They're wrong a lot of the times. And, hey, we're all wrong some of the times. And trust me, I know for a fact the Blues have not had any super interest.
So apparently, did the Avalanche play the did Arizona make the playoffs in 2020? I don't think they did.
No.
I don't think they did.
I don't remember them being in the playoffs.
No, I don't either. I have to go look at that. I know that was the one where they put the 24 teams in, but I didn't think the Avalanche were one of the teams that made it. I'd have to go look. I don't think so. Right? I'd have to go look. Oh man, let me see if I can pull this up. I'm looking. Give me a second. Sorry about leaving you hung out to dry there, Lance.
No, I did fine.
The Charon's not it for me. And first of all, I don't think the Blues need that type of defenseman. I really don't. I don't think the Blues need to mess with what they've got. And that's the thing. That's the Kool-Aid that everyone wants to drink. Oh my God, we got beaten in the second round by Big Bad Avalanche. We have to change everything so we get better like them. No, we don't. And that's the thing that just drives me up an effing wall. Right? I mean, drives me completely up a wall that everyone thinks that we have to do this. Oh, Arizona did make it. I don't think they won in the. They made it in. They were the 11th team in from the West. I thought they lost their round there. I don't know where to look that. I'd have to look something else up, but man, I'd have to look. He might be right. He might, remember better than I do, but I just don't. I'm looking it up now. Okay. So Arizona beat Nashville, and then they lost because they did play Colorado. They lost 4-1. So I'm not sure how much Chicharin was like part of that, but I'd have to go look. And then Colorado lost the 7 games to Dallas, and Dallas tore up. So I'd have to go look at that. But he dominated the Colorado. Oh, I didn't realize Lance left. He dominated Colorado, but they only won 1 game. Okay, bud. Well, I'm sorry, but Petrangelo was not a true elite defenseman. True elite defensemen don't let the captain of another team sit on top of them and put their glove in their face and do nothing about it. He single-handedly dominated them, but they lost 4-1. So I want him to come to the Blues to single-handedly dominate the Colorado Avalanche so we can lose 4-1. Sorry, I don't see that. Right? I don't see that. Hey, guys, went a little longer than I wanted to, but hell, man, an hour and a half. I guess that's the new show. Tomorrow is the opening day of training camp. I'll get as much info as I can. I'll see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Unfortunately, the way that they do the lives now, it's an event. So look for my events. And I hope to see y'all back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is Guy saying aloha, mahalo. And you got to know I'm bleeding blue with you.